Can you please state your name, age, and religion you believe in, please?
My name is Nick Ciminelli. I am 20 years old, and I am of the Catholic faith.
Now knowing that you're of the Catholic faith, what does your family's religious history entail?
Pretty much my whole entire family, yeah. We're all Catholics. It's been Catholic. We've always been raised that way. All have gone to Catholic schools, and so it's always been in existence, in my family at least.
What was it like growing up in a Catholic household?
I think regardless of religion, it would have been a loving family and everything like that, but because of the Catholic faith, I do think that certain things such as the holidays and family interaction is much more genuine and a lot more warm and loving than as not having religion in the household. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Catholic religion, but because of my faith, I absolutely do believe I do have the life that I do have currently.
Do you believe that holidays weren't taken so seriously as a kid, more involved with presents and gifts as opposed to going to church as other Catholic schools do, such as on Easter or Christmas?
As much as other people think that's the case with the Catholic religion, I don't feel so. Church was always a big part of my life as a child. I went to Catholic grammar school, and I've been an altar boy and everything like that, and I've served on Christmas, I've served on Easter, and they're beautiful ceremonies, and I mean, besides the presents and the family gatherings, which is great, but it always has been about religion and not just what I could receive on those days.
I believe you just stated that you were an altar boy. Can you tell me what that was like and what that was like being in the parish that you attended?
Yeah. Well, let's see. I became an altar boy when I was about in the 4th or 5th grade. And from then on, I always did at least 1 or 2 masses during the week, and then on the weekends as well. I've done funerals, I've done memorial masses, of course all the holiday masses I've been a part of, done the Stations of the Cross, and trying to think what else. And weddings as well, actually. I've also served some weddings, and they're all very interesting parts of it because it brings everybody together, whether it's a sad occasion or a very joyous occasion. And that's why I feel that religion itself is for the sense of community and not just, I guess I would say, a faith? I'm not sure.
Now, as an altar boy, what type of things would you have to do? Because I know briefly you would have to set up for the priest and such, but were there any more detailed things?
Absolutely. We all had to, depending on how many people we served with for each Mass, me being a smaller child, I never got to carry the cross in, but I would either carry a candle. We would also have to bring the priest the book to do most of the readings. We would have to bring him the host and the wine and everything else so that he could go ahead and then prepare it so that he can do communion for everyone. And I'm trying to think. We also we had to wear the white garments with, at least my church, we also had to wear a certain tassel depending on the season or the holiday it was.
Now, from knowing that you were so involved with the church as a child, can you tell me if it's changed your views on religion now and why?
I would say my views have changed drastically, and it's not because anything that the church has done. It's just because I have grown older and I have become, I guess, more knowledgeable about other people's religions and other things that go on in life. And it's not that my faith has decreased in my religion. It's just that I certainly question a lot of things that I am told to believe as opposed to what I actually do believe.
Are you still involved with your church at all today?
I go to Mass on the holidays. I do not go as regularly as I have over my entire life. But so I really would say no, not as much as I used to.
Do you think that would change at any point in your life?
I feel family is a big part in the religion, especially when children come into play, because it does give them a foundation for their life and things like that. So when it does become time for me to settle down and do so, I absolutely think that I will become much more active in the church and going to mass and things like that.
Which is very understandable. But do you think our generation looks at religion differently now than what's per se we did as kids?
Yes, absolutely, because, for example, nuns used to teach classes, and it was a much more strict school environment, and it was a lot more important to parents then to send them to a Catholic school and spend that extra money and have them really understand their faith and believe in God. And now children, I feel, even at a younger age, and it's starting to increase, are starting to have more of their own choice and starting to question religion and things like that at such an earlier age than even we would have. And it's still pretty drastic how much children our age, especially now, don't really believe or don't really go to church or don't even have the care. I know, for example, my parents, I mean, they've been going to church their whole life, especially my mother, and she has not ever strayed from the church, not once, and it's definitely starting to change as the kids get older.
And you definitely think it has to do with the parenting of the children, not just because the children don't want to go.
It's not just the parenting. I feel that the parenting would have a big part in it, because usually in a household, unless they're a rebellious child, what goes by a parent is what actually absolutely has to happen. But also, the way that the Catholic schools have been run, at least how I've seen it, is that it revolves a lot less around the faith now and just becoming an educational institution. And I mean, that's exactly what a school is supposed to be, but it's not as focused on the Catholic religion as it absolutely used to be.
Do you think children who go to Catholic school are more inclined to keep up with their religion as opposed to people who go to public school?
No, absolutely not, because, for example, people of the Muslim faith or people of the Jewish faith, that's their entire life, and because of how they live at home is the exact reason why they live so particularly to everything that they're supposed to do, and their faith is so strong. And, I mean, yeah, it could be just that way if a Catholic student or a Catholic person were to go to a public school, but I do think that in a Catholic school, if it was much stronger, or as it used to be, there would be a lot more children our age or people our age that would have a bigger faith and not walk away so quickly from the church itself.
With that said, do you think our generation could change into being more dedicated or involved with their own religions? If so, how?
It's a tough call to make for sure, because we really can't predict the future, of course, but over time, it really depends on how the church is, because people's faith as a group of the Catholic faith itself, since the church has been around, it's always fluctuated up and down with its belief in the church. And I think that we do have the possibility to change, and it really is going to become our choice. And if we do choose so, I think it would be a much better decision and a smarter way to go than to absolutely not pressure our children to understand why it's good to have faith in something. It doesn't necessarily have to be any particular religion, but to have faith in something is a beautiful thing.
Do you think that it takes a near-death experience for someone to be so, willing to jump back into their own faith just so they could believe in their faith once again?
Well, everyone fears death, absolutely. And, I know myself, if I were to have been in a terrible car accident or an accident and walked away living and healthy and fine, I know for a fact that I would turn to God much quicker than as if to just realize on my own that that's what I should have been doing in the first place. But like I had said previous, is that faith is key in anything that you do in life, and it is good to have that. But I do think that a near-death experience is a very humbling experience. But it won't even need to be your own life that has been near death, or even a death in the family always brings you much closer to your religion and family, of course. But just about anything, if it really means that much to you as a person, it will absolutely bring you closer to your religion itself.
And my last wrap-up question, do you think that even though your views have changed over time, that they will either A, continue changing, or B, they would change to where you become more involved with your faith once again as you get older?
Well, me personally, I'm a very fickle person. I overthink everything, and I've always been that way ever since a kid, but for some reason, as a kid, religion was always that one thing that never left my side, and to completely walk away from it is absolutely unseen in my eyes. And absolutely my views will change. They are always going to change. I'm a human being, and that's just how things work. But I do think that because of everything that has gone into my life, and absolutely my childhood and how I was brought up, it's always going to be the Catholic religion for me, and my faith will get stronger as I get older. It's how I feel. Everything always has gone in my life, and there's times where I doubt, but more than not, I really do truly believe.
Okay. I would like to thank you for taking time out of your night to do this interview with me for my project, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome.